Hello, everyone. How are you? Great to see everybody. I've got Mekcee backstage. I'm going to bring him on in just a second, guys. Cherry K, hello. Holly Webb, Joy. Robbie's mom was up in here earlier. Sammy Smith, Finding Hope. Jennifer Eggleston. A Gramsci Life. My man, Siren Jag. Guys, like if I mute myself, I'm sorry. I still got a nasty cough. Smoking doesn't really help, but yeah, man. Sarcastic superhero girl. I like you. I like that. That you pissed Kay off in one of her lives. I like that. Hey, that girl. Perfectly imperfect. All right. So tonight, guys, I'm going to bring Mekcee on. As you know, tomorrow Mekcee is going to be doing a live stream on Gannon Stauch, covering the paranormal aspect of things. And I thought it would be a good idea to bring him on here tonight where we actually discuss the case itself. Because for those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know that that this is a case that I followed very closely and it hit really close to home for me. So we're going to discuss we're going to go over the entire timeline of events. And ironically, tomorrow is the day that Gannon was reported missing. Tomorrow will be a year when Gannon was reported missing. So, all right. I'm going to bring Mekcee on, guys. What's up, my dude?
What's going on? I'm having technical difficulties. Hopefully you guys can see me okay and hear me okay.
We can see you and hear you now. Absolutely.
Good. Yeah, so this is gonna be a crazy case. I heard you were telling me that this was a case that you were very close to. So me and you, it's been a little bit since we worked together, so I'm looking forward to doing this case together. This will be cool.
Yeah, most definitely. I was so involved in this case that I flew out to Colorado. I was there to see a friend, but I made it a point to make it to where one of Letitia's court dates were set. But they got a continuance or something, and it just didn't happen. So, but I was just hoping to get a glimpse of this person. Some people are
so
just
frustrated too.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just so evil, and I believe Letitia Stauch to be one of these people that are absolutely pure evil. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go over the timeline, and as well, what we're gonna do is me and you, we're gonna break down the interview where she has her back turned. So we're gonna do a Glare and Mekcee reaction to that video. I did a couple myself on this channel when it happened because it's really, it's so messed up. But we're going to go over some of the timeline details. So on January 27th, Gannon is reported missing by his stepmother, Letitia Stauch. She told the El Paso County Sheriff's Office he left home between 3:15 p.m. and 4 p.m. local time to walk to a friend's house in Colorado Springs. The initial press release on his disappearance describes the call about him as a report for a juvenile runaway. Now, all kinds of things wrong with that. I mean, there was no friend's house. There was nothing of that sort at all whatsoever. There was no, this seemed shady to everybody right off the bat because apparently she didn't even ask, what friend it was. When she's asked, well, what friend's house did he go to? She had no answer for it. She was like, I don't know. Who the fuck doesn't know where their 11-year-old, even one that's not naturally your child, but you're in charge of this child. It's your stepchild. You're going to ask questions like, do I know the parents? Do we need to meet the parents? I mean, that hardly happens at all anymore at all. where kids just have friends where they go, I'm going to my friend's house. Like that just doesn't happen anymore. Not like when we were kids.
Yeah.
Right. So now on January 30th, he's classified as a missing and endangered person. His disappearance is now classified as a missing endangered persons case. The sheriff's office asks anyone with information to call authorities and blast what was described as misinformation on social media about the case. Now, T gives a full interview here. And we're gonna watch that in just a second. What are your thoughts on all this, Mekcee? How are you? What made you take such interest in it?
Well, it's, obviously it's a national case. I mean, like, a lot of people know about this case. And the reason why it's such an interest to me and why it usually gets like really close to me is because I have kids. So when I see like there's a kid involved and it was in a tormented state, which, we'll go over, all the things that they said during this, like when the police found, the different evidence that they had found. It's very gruesome. It's very graphic. It's very gruesome. So anybody that's here too, if you're easily squeamish, I would suggest that maybe you don't watch it. But it's those kind of cases like hit me because I envision it like being my child. What if it was my child that it happened to?
Right.
And so like that frustrates the shit out of me because I'm like, if someone's pure evil, but they're doing this to somebody like a kid that's like completely defenseless, they can't do anything about it. It's like these are people that they trusted. I'm sure, again, put his trust into her, and obviously it's betrayed. So when you have a parent or a step parent that does those things to somebody, it's so messed up. And he was only 11 at the time too, so it's just wrong. It's just wrong. So that's why those kind of cases, those get to me. And like, if I can find anything out as far as like, people are like, why do you do paranormal things? Because sometimes paranormal things, like regardless of people want to think it or not, like there's like, some people will call them spirits, some people will call demons. Like there's other things out there, energies, whatever you want to call them, that know more than we do. You know what I mean? Like they know things that happen, like specific things that happen. And so that's pretty much like why I do some of the paranormal things and hope to capture some of that. So
yeah, right on. Yeah, the have you seen this interview before?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a doozy, man. Because I remember, because I'm real big on innocent until proven guilty. Like I lost friends while this case was going on, like fellow creators that were friends because they were just tearing this woman apart. And I was like, you don't have any evidence other than that she's an asshole.
Yeah.
There's clear evidence that she's an asshole, but there's no evidence that she's guilty of a crime. We don't even know that a crime took place just yet. So, chill out with that. So I'm real big on that. But the thing is, though, when you find out that she gets arrested and that you just know it's her, all that other stuff makes a lot of sense, and
yeah, and then you read things like the affidavits and the stuff that goes into it, the details like they found out and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh god, you freaking, I want to beat your ass myself. Like,
yeah,
and you can do it, and it's like you say, like I advocate for that too. Like if it's a matter of innocent until proven guilty, but there goes a certain, that only goes so far when everything that you see is pointing to, like, obviously once you get convicted, like, and even convictions, I mean, we could say, what's the judge and the jury, even they get it wrong sometimes. So we are not the judge and the jury. However, we can make, educated guesses as to, what took place. Like we basically, what we do is we look at the evidence that's presented to us, or all the facts in the case and things, and we make the best judgment call that we can. And regardless, one way or another, we're not always going to be right. You're not always going to be right. I'm not always going to be right. The judge is not always going to be right. The jury's not always going to be right. So what are we doing? We're just trying to, I think yourself and myself, we try to advocate for people that sometimes don't have a voice to advocate for themselves, which is why I push so hard for Shanann Watts. Like if you don't know who I am, I've advocated very hard for Shanann, the innocence of her, because there was a lot of people that started jumping on that Chris was innocent bandwagon, and
Yeah,
so
I
when
mean,
some
there's
when somebody's dead and they have no voice and they can't defend themselves, and it's like he already confessed to it, he knew where their bodies were, he's, you know, regardless if he himself did that. And I know we're going off topic, but I'm just trying to, you know, point out a picture to it. Like when you advocate, you try to advocate for sometimes people that can't advocate for themselves, and that's basically what I'm trying to get at. So
I completely agree with you. The you know, my whole thing with you know, people that jump the gun, you know, the problem with these cases is people forget that these are real people involved. They forget that real families are affected, and then, you know, when there's the updates for the case are there, you know, and they're covered and there's nothing else to cover, then some of these people will go into the family's personal lives and just start making assumptions about people that are really out there, that are really being affected by this in a very negative way. They're suffering at the loss of a family member, and in Gannon's case, a loss of a child. And so, you know, I'm just, you know, really, do you need to talk about somebody's infidelities? You need to talk about that sort of thing. I mean, how is that really relevant? You know, so I get upset about that stuff. But like you said, yeah, I have that need to speak up for people who, I mean, what else am I going to use this channel for? I can't imagine not using this channel to give to you know, I have a platform where, you know, people listen to what I'm saying. So I want to speak up for somebody who can't speak up for themselves if I can, you know. So yeah, I completely agree with you on that. All right, so let me share this real quick. Let's now the bright side to these things, the silver lining in these cases is when we have somebody like Letitia Stock, we get to roast the shit out of them. You know, it's I thoroughly enjoy taking shots at this person because she's awful.
yeah,
She's
she
completely
is.
awful. And whenever I'm running StreamYard and I got people on panel, my internet like is super
Freaks out. I have that problem too. I have it too.
All right, so here we go. Like, y'all can see that okay? Let me see. Yeah. So so she keeps her back turned this whole time, right? Let's get into it.
I can't hear the audio. Did you share the audio on it? Well,
Maybe not. Hold on. Let me oh, this slow shit. Hold on. All right, there we go. Hold on. Okay. Should be good. Start this shit over. Dude, here we go.
Mekcee Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
You are.
Can you hear it? I'm not playing it right now, but when I played it before,
yeah,
could you hear it?
I could. Yeah, I could hear it when you played it before.
All right, here we go.
I am Mekcee Stauch, which is Gannon's stepmother.
You've been a part of the investigation since the very first time. You were the last person to see him. Is that right?
Correct.
What did you see when you last saw him?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about anything with the case. I would more so be willing to talk about how the community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations, like the things that have been said that I've disappeared from the community.
So right off the bat, we're literally 30 seconds into this, and she's making this about her. She's making it about how the public are already accusing her of something. I remember I was texting with that girl, and she said something to me. She said something to the effect that whoever's screaming the loudest is usually the guilty one, or something to that effect. And I think that applies here. She was all over social media, just arguing with people. She's one of those, so she's all over Facebook groups and everything, and she's arguing with people. And it's really like, why are you arguing with people online and you're not out looking for your stepson? Why?
Yeah, exactly.
So this is
not
a
only
case
that,
where
but that should be the first thing too. Like if I was a parent, that would be one of the first things too. If I had a camera and an opportunity to talk to some of the newscasters, the first things out of my mouth wouldn't be about myself. It would be about the child. It'd be like, look, I'm just trying to look for my child. I don't know what happened with them. I'm truly concerned about here where the whereabouts. Here's what they look like. Here's what they like to do. Here's the places they usually like to go. Like trying to give any information that could possibly be able to, help find or help, whatever the case may be. And like, to me, it's so funny. Like when you see people, usually, I'm not going to say always, but usually like guilty or have something to be guilty about, usually it's in the type of demeanor that she is doing and portraying in this video right here. So that's I'll leave it at that. But that's usually when you see people that have some guilt or something to hide about a case, it's usually something like this. She's a little more batshit crazy than most, but
she is. But she's the evil kind of crazy. She's right now. She's totally. Excuse me. She's totally burning time, just killing time to the inevitable right now. She's already gone to a hospital for evaluation, and they deemed her fit to stand trial. And here's the thing about that. What people don't realize about that is that's an admission of guilt right there. A jury's going to look at that as an admission of guilt. If you're sitting there saying that you're not fit to stand trial, then that's basically implying that you are crazy and that's why you did what you did.
That's almost a defense strategy. Like it literally is like a defense strategy.
It's a stupid one. Why
are you going on the defense if you have nothing to hide? Because if you don't have anything to hide, you wouldn't try to sit there and be like, oh, well, yeah, I can't, be competent or be held accountable for my actions because I'm mental. Well, then you're just making it look like you're guilty in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So basically, when you tell a court, hey, I need to get evaluated because I think I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying? That's basically implying, okay, well, they're going for an insanity plea. Like that's what they're going for. And that's basically an admission of guilt. The question is whether or not this evaluation results in her being fit or unfit to stand trial. She's already done one evaluation and she was deemed fit to stand trial. Now she's going for it again. And she's arguing that she's not able to spend any time with her attorneys to go over and prepare for her case. So she's using every excuse in the book right now to kill time before she stands trial. Let's keep going here.
Community, I haven't been there to help, but there's lots of reasons behind that.
Reasons like death threats.
Right. Death threats are one of them. My family's getting lots of death threats. We counted over 20 some death threats already. Two, my husband's ex-wife is living in our home. And of course, I'm not coming home to do these things and to help with the.
Why does she think we give a fuck about that? Why does she think that we care what the domestic situation is at home when your 11-year-old boy is missing? So there's all these red flags. I mean, again, we're not even a minute in, and there's all these red flags already.
Family, when I was kind of like told I couldn't, And then many other things that happened with the El Paso County Police Department, and in doing the investigation, I was told I wasn't complying. And can I elaborate on that?
Please do.
Yes. So I asked for an attorney during the interview, and I was denied that by them. I was held because they were blocking the door.
So right now I've got an opportunity to go on TV, and what am I going to do? I'm going to trash law enforcement. The only people whose asses I should be kissing to help me find my stepson, right? But instead I'm going to trash them and talk about how my rights were violated. She's already sounding guilty. She's sounding like she's defensive. Defensive of what?
Yeah.
Like
she still hasn't even brought him up one time. She still hasn't, like, the whole point and purpose of this is for Gannon, and you haven't even brought him up one time. You're only just sitting here saying of how mean and awful people have been to you and poor you.
Right. Totally sad fishing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told I couldn't leave, and that if I would have touched them, they would have probably said I still wasn't complying, or said I was, trying to run away or something. But during the interview, I asked several times, could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? Could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? I was denied. I was told I couldn't get nothing to drink. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I mean, it was continuously that my constitutional right.
And here's the thing about that. I call complete bullshit on that. Like, the thing is following cases like this, law enforcement just is never that sloppy, especially when a case is this high profile. So there's no way that they're ever going to deny her constitutional rights. They're not going to give her attorneys anything to win her defense under the chance of there being some sort of dumb slip up on their part, that her defense team gets her off on a technicality. They're not going to risk that. They're going to go by the book. It's just like these the West boys in California City. Now, that case, people are always asking, well, why did they get a warrant? Why did they get a warrant to search the house? And even in their interview, they're saying, well, they didn't need a warrant. We would have just let them in. But the whole thing is, the reason why law enforcement goes and gets a warrant is to cover their ass later. So when it comes to the trial, they don't get to
so
say,
there's no question.
The house without right. So they suspect that they definitely did something to those boys, but that's a different case.
I'm surprised I haven't heard her say, they didn't read me my Miranda rights.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is what
she's doing everything except for that pretty much right now.
Yeah. So what she's doing right now is using this interview as some sort of tactic to build a defense. It's really, really bizarre.
Right, for violating.
And that's why you say that they said then you weren't cooperating with the investigation.
That's why they said I wasn't cooperating at that time. Correct.
And why did you ask for an attorney at the time?
Well, I asked for an attorney at the time because there was one individual, there was two really good detectives, and so I'm not, going to talk bad about the detectives, but the tactics they started.
I'm not going to talk bad about the detectives, but they fucking robbed me of my rights. This lady's unreal.
Get when I was into questions, they try to, they're detectives. They're supposed to twist. The one main goal is to find Gannon. But during that time, some of those things made me feel uncomfortable the way they were saying things. So I immediately stopped and felt like an attorney would help me with some of the vocabulary and things like that I needed help with and understanding some of the things that they were asking.
Okay.
So sometimes she finally brought up Gannon's name 2 minutes into the conversation. Right. She only mentioned his name one time.
Now, something really funny about this. She's, now what she said makes sense. She's like, well, they were speaking over my head. You know what I mean? Like, they bunch of legal jargon, and it would have helped me if I had a lawyer there to explain what they were saying, because I didn't want to get tripped up by them. Fair enough. Because if I'm innocent, guilty of a crime, no matter what, there's no fucking way that I'm talking to cops without a lawyer. There's no way. It just because I'm not going to risk my words getting twisted. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in an interview room with a cop and they say, we just need to ask you a couple questions. Lawyer.
Yeah. First thing.
That's it. I don't. Yeah.
But you know what? That's why they call them criminals. A lot of criminals are not honestly smart. And I'm not trying to be like, they're stupid.
Well, they're
and
so
everybody's
they're
stupid.
so full of themselves. They're so full of themselves.
They literally think that they're going to be able to outsmart or outwit somebody. Like,
Right.
Sometimes they think very, very, very highly of themselves. It's like, oh, none of these tricks have ever been used before. They've never seen this. I'm going to be able to get off. Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and Chris Watts is one of those. Like, dude, all you had to do was lawyer up. Yeah, I mean, he still would have gotten convicted. You know what I mean? But he
still could have even walked away from when he did the polygraph. It's like, dude, even like that's not admissible. So why didn't you just?
I'm never ever agreeing to a polygraph. You are stupid if you agree to a polygraph. Innocent or guilty. Again, innocent or guilty. There's no fucking way you're putting me on a polygraph. There's just no way.
Yeah,
that's just adding to the fire. You know.
Yeah, and I think it's only like what is it 70? I think it's 70% accurate. I think is the highest amount that it can go is 70% accuracy. So I mean, even if you are innocent, like a lot of times polygraph, even if I was completely 100% innocent, if they said, "Hey, Mekcee, I want you to go over there and you're going to do a polygraph about this," I'd be like, "Nope. No, right. No way, no how. I ain't doing no polygraph. Nope.
You're not, yeah. You like a polygraph is nothing but an interrogation tactic. It's all it is. So when they put you on a polygraph, the whole point of it, because you saw it again with Chris Watts, the whole point of it is they can go, well, you failed your polygraph. Is there something
put the pressure? Yeah, they put the pressure on you.
Right. So you're a fucking idiot. I mean, God, all you got to do is just watch a cop show for a day. Just put on USA Network on a Sunday and watch some SVU. That's all you got to do. I don't understand these people, dude. So, yeah.
I'm going to shift gears to.
But here's another thing about that point I wanted to bring up. Sorry. Another thing about this where she was saying I didn't understand the vocabulary. She couldn't even pronounce the word vocabulary correctly.
Correctly.
but here's the thing about her is she's an education. She has a doctorate, a PhD in education, supposedly. Right? Yeah. So now, whether this is actually true or not, I don't know. I don't know if she forged it. I don't know if she cheated her way through school. I don't know if she sucked up her professor for grades. I don't know what she did. But she has on paper a PhD in education, and she can't even pronounce the word vocabulary, and she needs and she didn't understand what the police were saying. You got a PhD without taking any classes on, any type of social economics or anything, any type of thing where you're history, for fuck's sake, where certain legal terms are talked about, in some, I don't know. I never went to college, so I'm just assuming that there's classes that are required, that something like this is going to get covered. But I do agree with her.
They essentially make you take basic like core classes and things, like even if it's not like, let's say you're not, you go to college to do a credit, to get a credit for them, you basically have to take like core classes and things in order to get like, like a bachelor's or whatever you're trying to get. And like a lot of these are either English, it just depends on what you're going for, but they make you take very basic core classes. So like, if that's true, because I honestly don't remember reading about that, like what you were talking about her doctrine. But even if she has any form of education, like what she's saying is, I don't understand the vocabulary that they're talking about. Like
she
like,
sounds
oh my God,
she sounds like a GED student at best. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry, she does. I'm just calling bullshit on the doctorate. That's all I'm saying. So I wanted to bring that up because it's a fun fact about this case that this woman actually holds a PhD or claims to, at least.
Huge online presence of people obviously trying to do the right thing to help find Gannon. But at the same time, sometimes it just feels like rumor mongering. Have you seen any of those comments yourself?
We have. And see, that's one of the main things we haven't.
This guy's smart. He wants to get her talking about what she wants to talk about. He's calling straight bullshit on her already. You could tell.
Around in the public eye, because I didn't want to expose my family to it if all these things were going on. There was comments about Gannon getting pushed off the hike, and there was comments about this, and that's just not true. I took care of Gannon for the last 2 years in our home because his mother didn't want to do it. And I would never, never, ever hurt this child. And I know there's some questions out there about, okay, tell me what happened. That's up to the investigations when they end up letting you guys know. But I've cooperated with them, even to the point that we were held with a gun. And my daughter, a 17-year-old who serves our country in the United States Air Force, who has never committed a crime or done anything wrong in her life, was put in handcuffs over the keys that was in her purse so they could take her car.
And they weren't in there.
Again, playing the victim. Again, making it about her. Now she wants to gain sympathy with her daughter, using her daughter.
Weren't even in her car. I mean, in her purse.
And
they were in my pocket.
You originally didn't even know it was the law enforcement officer?
I didn't know it was a law enforcement officer because when he came out, I guess he was putting his jacket on, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. He was adjusting and happened to catch me. But I saw the gun and I panicked originally and kind of thought, oh gosh, I got the, like, who is this guy? And then once I realized it was a sheriff's office, I was totally okay, but they still had a gun and told me they were going to shoot me. But I was really concerned about my daughter, asking why she was being detained in handcuffs and things like that, when that shouldn't even happen for a child. That shouldn't happen for someone who was standing inside of a store shopping, because we couldn't have any clothes because all of our clothes were here. We came here and got clothes, you know, we would be harassed. So she went to
now that detail is interesting, where she's talking about shopping and clothes. We're going to go over the arrest affidavit as well, and that's going to explain the details of what took place right there from from law enforcement's perspective.
Some underwear and things like that, and was put in the handcuffs in the store, you know, and then brought out with men with guns. And that's just not okay. You know, they could approach me and said, "Hi, I'm with El Paso County. Can I please get this?" Instead of the way that it happened.
I'm just gonna take her shot. You're doing great. We're doing a recording, so can hear you okay.
Now, mind you guys, what I'm doing here tonight with Mekcee, I want to keep this going. This is just kind of a prelude to what Mekcee's going to be doing tomorrow, and I'll be on the panel with him. But he's going to actually kind of go over, give us a quick summary of what to expect of tomorrow. Where are you going? What are you doing, Mekcee?
Sorry, you're cutting off. It was mine. Sorry.
I was saying, give us a little bit of a summary of what you have planned on for tomorrow as far as investigations go. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think you're. I
can hear you now. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, it froze out for a second. Okay, it froze out for a second. Sorry there. Yeah, I heard you were talking about the prelude to. Yeah, this is pretty much we'll be going over some of this stuff tomorrow in more details, and you're going to be on the panel for tomorrow when we do it.
So what are you going to be doing? Because I know you usually go to different sites. What do you have planned on where you're going to go as far as this goes?
Well, originally what I was going to do is I was going to try to go behind the scenes and actually go there, because I know that they rented the house out to another person or family.
The rent in that house must be cheap. The rent in that house.
No, they actually raised it. They actually raised it. They raised it. Yeah, no kidding. I found all that information on it.
Gannon was murdered in his bed.
Yeah,
in that house.
In his bed. Yeah, and they actually raised the rent on it. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Isn't that crazy, Sika? So that tells you a little something about the landlord right there. I would be like, oh my God, like I don't know. I know they remodeled and they did stuff like that, but like it's still like, oh my gosh, like I can't fathom that. Like you raise the rent after something as atrocious. And I know it's not the landlord's fault. I mean, it's not their fault that they had that happen there, but like to me, like raising the rent on a property and doing that there where something happened, that's kind of crazy. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to go to there before you guys actually see me live. I'm going to see if they will allow me and give me permission to enter inside of the home so I can actually film and give you kind of a set and like, you know, here's where would potentially have happened and all those things, go over it. We'll do like the spirit box. We'll do the typical paranormal things, the K2 meter, if I can get inside of the home and somebody will allow me to do it, I'll pull out the K2 meter and different things to see if there's anything active in the home. I want to try to do the spirit box because I want to try to see if there's any answers we can get as far as that, because, you know, obviously this is an ongoing investigation. So if we can get anything that's relevant, I'll obviously try to do that. And someone actually reached out to me today. I won't dox who they are, but it's a neighbor that's actually said that they're only a few homes down. That they said they have all kinds of different information and stuff. So I'm kind of curious as to what this person has. So they actually said that they had a few different things. So they were like, they were here and they were telling me all kinds of things about the neighborhoods too, that there's a lot of different families that are in there from like, the services and stuff, either whether it be the Army, the Navy, whatever. So they were telling me that they were like, just be careful when you come out here because there's a lot of there that are already on guard about it. It's going to be the anniversary date. And I picked this date specifically because it was the anniversary date. I don't know if anybody put two and two together, but it's the anniversary date. And in the paranormal world, sometimes things are residual. And they basically are like a footprint left of something where if something traumatic happened, something almost in a sense replay itself. So sometimes you have a little bit more luck going on those specific dates because something has happened on that time. So that's why I chose to go there at that.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely very curious. All right, let's see what other shit this woman talks.
Okay, yeah, sounds like we're good. Everyone's on my microphone. I want to make sure it's not going to happen here.
I mean, how bizarre is it that she has her back turned like that? Like
I should try and clarify here. Not necessarily, but the way that people are reacting.
What's that, Mekcee?
Oh, I was just going to say too, you know what, like we're still just keep in mind too, we're 4 minutes into this conversation. How many times has Gannon's name came up? One
like
that
two.
I can count. Only one that I can count. One or two?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's literally it hasn't came up and this is just a theory. This is just a theory of mine. But why does somebody like in that sense usually avoid using the person's name? Guilt. Do you maybe think that they feel like guilt about this and they don't want to, like it's almost like haunting to bring like someone's name up? I thought about the psychology portion of that, and then like you think about, to me it says like if you murdered somebody and you felt maybe a little bit of remorse, like would you want to say that person's name?
Yeah,
like I don't know. That's a crazy,
right?
It's a crazy thing to think of, and just seeing this video, like kind of like goes along. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist by any means, but I think about it, and I'm like, the psychology portion of it is interesting to me because I wonder about that. I'm like, I wonder if they don't say that specific person's name that they did something against because it makes them feel a certain way.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I mean, the fact is that she's magooing all over this fucking thing, all over this interview. Who was it that just said that? Who said that? Who just said that? TCH.
Somebody said magooing.
That's what she's doing. She's magooing the fuck out of this interview. Hold on. So yeah, I mean, she's definitely not. Yeah, she has an opportunity here to put out as much information that could help find Gannon, because at this point he's only missing. And I mean, he is murdered, but we don't know that when this interview is taking place. So she has an opportunity to straight up like use this opportunity. She's on the news and describe everything she can about Gannon, do everything that she can to get people to relate to Gannon and care about him enough to want to look for him, and she does nothing of the sort here.
Yeah, so far nothing about it that would be helpful in the case if you're actually trying to figure it out. So far nothing.
Yeah.
Rumors about you with the show.
Oh yes, wow. The rumors have gotten so bad. I pretty much have been told at least 10 different ways that these people have these conspiracy theories. I guess they watch a lot of law shows and maybe they have all these theories on how Gannon is dead. And that's what they're saying. So I'm like, why are you saying Gannon is dead? He is not dead. We are going to find Gannon. And that's the main goal that we all have, my family has. Just because you haven't seen us, we have that same goal. We've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we can protect each other.
how does it feel when not only you have a lost child who you are in care of, but then people blaming you for that child not being there?
You know, I'm just ready for Gannon to come home. Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second,
This is real important.
I'm just ready for.
Yeah. So pay attention to what she says here. This. She takes a hard left turn here. It's really, really almost amusing.
For Gannon to come home. Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online, for all the things they said that I have done, that people have done.
She's ready for her apologies, man.
Wow.
She's, first of all, yeah, of course, Gannon come home, but really, what I'm looking forward to is
really what I'm looking forward to. Yes, of course, I want Gannon home, and we want Gannon home. However, like all you naysayers and doubters and everybody else is talking shit about me, I want you first and foremost to be right here to apologize to my face and kiss my feet as beholdeth me.
I can't wait to rub it into the haters. That's what she's doing right here. She's like, haters, you get ready to eat crow. Unreal, dude.
Hey, but at least she said Gannon's name at least a few times within this thing, though. So like it's a very short spurt. But it's like this short spurt where she's all, okay, Gannon, yes, poor Gannon, okay. Oh, me. Now she's back to the me.
So
Gannon, me.
halfway in to this interview, the strongest thing that she said in regards to finding Gannon was, of course, first off, I want him to come home. That's the strongest statement that she made regarding Gannon being found. So that should tell you something right there. 5 minutes in.
Know that we're going to find
a good heart.
So much. I've helped taking care of him for so long.
Can you talk to me a little bit about him? I don't know him.
Gannon is so kind, and he loves to play video games. That's one of his favorite things. He loves Sonic and Mario, and he's always helpful. And he was always so helpful with the dogs around the house. And we have 2 little cute dogs, and he was always like a person I could say, Gannon, can you go do this? And he would do it right away. Sometimes with kids, we have to remind them and things like that. And that's okay. But he was so sweet and able to help anyone. He could notice when you're sick and say, are you okay? And such a kind heart.
I know you just said that you can't say anything about the investigation.
You see this guy's face, dude, when she says this? He's just like, fuck, I can't believe I got to stomach this woman talking this shit. Watch him one more time.
Anything about the investigation, so you can just say so again.
Hold on.
And that's okay, but he was so sweet and able to help anyone. He could know.
Boom. Did you catch that right there? He was so sweet. As soon as you hear him talk about him in a past tense, man, it's like,
past tense.
Yeah.
Past tense.
What she just did. That's what she just did. Now watch my man's face. He caught that shit too. Watch him.
When you're sick and say, are you okay? And
he's like, yeah, keep talking. He's like, he's just like, okay. So moving on.
Can't answer this, but is there anything we can hear about the hike? Was there a hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that,
Now watch the interaction with her daughter. She's got a very, very controlling dynamic with her, first of all. And second of all, she totally 100% coaches her on what to say here.
She came home from work after the hike, and she can verify that Gannon was at our home.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. And if she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed to.
I mean, Hartley.
She's got a mic on
Hartley.
Her. Like, she doesn't realize.
Was Gannon at home after the hike? Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work. Say yes. No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work and you can verify Gannon was at home.
She's telling her what to say.
Right. She's totally coaching her.
I told her she didn't have to be too in depth because she is still, a child. But I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another.
Yeah, we know because we can hear you telling her what to say.
Person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No.
Yes, so I came home later that evening. I was at work, and I can verify that she was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
I guess when
And then we ate Burger King afterwards, so, you know.
there you go.
Yeah.
And then it just was I'm gonna go to play with my friends. And then it was just I'm off to go to play with my friends.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to like comment on that anymore, and for that reason, is because some things have been turned and twisted. And you know, that was one of those stories you were talking about where people say things. We had to hear things like who would let their child go out at dark and things like that, and that's just why I don't want to answer that. If I had to give, I'm not gonna say that part.
That's okay.
Never mind.
Right.
I could take that out.
I understand that it gets tricky with
Yeah.
Okay. Take two. That's what she does right here. Yeah. I don't want to see. You cut that part out. Let's redo that part.
Do you feel like I asked you what I need to? Do you feel like this is going to help kind of turn the tide of what feels like a witch hunt, in my opinion?
You are okay.
What a
I
fucking
think
idiot.
that a lot of people can see that I'm not missing and see that I am being cooperative. And to me, it's okay that they think those things because the way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want.
Hey, Mekcee, you got a lot of clicking going on.
Let me mute it. See if it.
Yeah, it stopped. I think it's probably your wire. Usually when people use those, you know, the mic picks up all the moving and stuff like that.
Let me try to come back in and out too. Let me try to come back out, in and out, and then try that again.
Okay.
Is it clicking still, or did it go away?
Oh, it seems fine now. I mean, there it is again.
No, it's clicking off. Yeah, I'll come back. Let me come back in because I can't stand that. That drives me nuts. I'll come back in.
Okay. Yeah.
Think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home because that's just not the case. I've spent my whole entire life working so hard in education. There was even things online that was talking about my education license and I shouldn't even be a teacher. And they just didn't know that. Like we moved on a military move.
No, you should not be a teacher. Oh, thank you very much, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. For the PayPal, I appreciate that. Let's see if I think Mekcee's trying to come back. Look at some of your comments in the meantime. No, I'm not chewing on ice. I'm definitely not chewing on ice. Well, Amber Ann, here's the thing is I call bullshit that she should have ever been an educator. There's no way a person with this level of intelligence has a PhD in anything. I call bullshit on that. Like either she forged it or she cheated her way through it or bribed professors in some way. I don't know. I just don't know. But I call bullshit on her having a legit PhD in education of all things, but really in anything. What's up, Rob's Rules? Yo, hey, y'all subscribe to Rob's Rules, man. He's a cool dude. I like him a lot. Really nice, pleasant chat. And General Zod's Fandom Zone too. He was in here earlier, so guys, subscribe to them too if you can, because they're good dudes. And I think Rob's Rules. I think we're gonna end up doing something. I think, man. I think sometime on his channel or something, we're gonna end up talking about some pop culture stuff or something. You know, we'll see what happens. He definitely seems like the kind of guy I like to talk to about that stuff. But still no truthy. Ooh, hold on, I'm getting a text here. um Hold on. Yeah, y'all like my ringtone? Y'all like my ringtone? My text tone? Hold on. Who is this? Wait, what? What the fuck? Whoa, okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah. That was Annie actually texting me with something that whoo. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to leave y'all hanging with that, but I'm gonna keep going here. Hopefully Mekcee comes back soon. And then I'm gonna keep going along with the timeline and everything.
Didn't finish out my contract, so I gave up my license in that state. It had nothing to do.
And by the way, she did not give up her license in that state. Her license was revoked from that state. I actually have seen the letter that she received saying that her license was being revoked due to a lack of professionalism or something to that effect. Big shocker there.
Do with any criminal activity, or any of those things. And it just got blown out of proportion on my professional status, and
Do you feel like these are just internet detectives who think they know what they're doing?
it definitely is. And here's the thing that kind of saddens me. It's like, if you're going to talk about someone like that and have a witch hunt out for them, why would you even care about doing those things? Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. Like, we should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because again, it's going to come home.
No, I love how she's preaching to people about not being hateful. Do you guys know what she allegedly did to Gannon? We still don't know. We still don't know. But based on her charges, which I will go over, pure hatred. She hated this boy.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband.
Let's hear that one more time real quick.
We'll be able to truly together and wait until the end. This is a child. I feel like we should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because again, it's going to come home.
This is real important. Listen to this response one more time. No, Gannon, we're praying for you every minute. Just if you hear this, please, if there's any chance you hear this, please come home. We need you. We love you. Nothing that even remotely resembles something that a loving parent that is missing their child would say.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then
you'll be able to truly tell what happened. That's what's on her mind now.
And I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone.
I hope I get a sincere apology from everyone that dared implicate me in this situation. Thank you, Jill. I appreciate that. Appreciate the PayPal.
Made all those things, especially from my husband. We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon,
no, this is really bizarre, because she's not even this is really bizarre because she's not even Wow, Keith, thank you so much. Wow. Keith, thank you. Wow. Appreciate that. Yeah, she's not even showing any I mean, she had them record her fake crying and then dub it over this footage because it's not in sync with the footage that we're seeing. The audio is not in sync with the footage we're seeing here. It's pre-recorded and dubbed over her crying because she caught herself and realized that she just went on and on about herself.
I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay. We love you.
This is absolutely bizarre. Okay, so I'm going to keep going over the timeline here. Hopefully Mekcee comes back. I guess he's having some technical difficulties. It happens to the best of us guys. I apologize for that. So that was February 3rd. She gives an awful interview. Though officials don't specifically address any rumors, Letitia Stauch responded to online comments vilifying her in an interview with the local CBS affiliate, which we just watched, KKTV. Officials said that they had put in thousands of hours into search efforts, including through aerial drone footage and search and rescue canines. Those involved in the search included the FBI Child Abduction Rapid Deployment, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and Colorado Springs Police Department. The following day, on February 4th, surveillance footage shows holes in T's stories. That she left with him and returned alone. There's surveillance footage that shows this. A neighbor comes forward with surveillance footage. I'm not going to go over that. We're going to keep this one pretty short tonight, guys. But neighbor comes forward with surveillance footage that he says shows Letitia Stauch leaving the house with him and returning hours later alone. Neighbor Roderick Drayton told ABC News he decided to look through the footage once the search intensified and saw Stauch getting into a red pickup truck Monday morning, 10:13 a.m. The footage also appears to show Gannon walking slowly as he approaches and gets into the truck, according to Drayton. When she returns in the truck at 2:19 p.m., Gannon is nowhere to be seen. A spokeswoman for the sheriff's office told ABC News that investigators have a copy of the video and did not dispute Drayton's description. This is just one piece in a very, very, very large puzzle, spokeswoman Jackie Kirby told ABC News. And Mekcee's back.
Hey.
I think what's up, my man? No, you're good, man. You're good.
Technical. I'm having technical difficulties here.
So I'm just running through the timeline here. So on February 5th, Gannon's biological mother and father make a gut-wrenching plea together for anyone with information to come forward. And we'll go ahead and show that. Hold on a second. Sorry, this is so slow. Here we go.
I deal with it all the time. StreamYard.
Thank you, Robert.
My G-Man, my Gannon. Gannon's my hero. I love him so much. He's not only my hero, he has multiple people that call him his hero as well. He has so many family members that just look up to him at such a small age. He's full of life. He's happy. He's energetic. He loves sports. He loves Sonic. He loves going outside, playing with his friends, his sister, his neighbor, especially Graydon. this neighborhood basically gives you a true example of who my son is. Everybody coming together, all the smiles that people have. This is why I have hope, because I feel it. This is Gannon truly speaking to our community. Gannon he loves blue. He loves
Thank you,
Sonic.
Doris.
He's into
Appreciate
coding. He loves riding his bicycle with his sister. And I know that he's missing that right now. He holds his job as being Big Bubba very important. And for him not to be able to talk to his sisters has to be hurting him. This week has been awful. It's been more than a roller coaster ride, more than emotional mess. I don't even have answers for my feelings other than I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I will never hear his voice. I'll never hear him run and say, Mommy. That I'll never hear those corny jokes that he always tells every single day. He has to tell me a joke. He looks forward to telling me something silly. And I'm afraid that I may never see that again or hear it. I don't want to believe that, because that means that I'm giving up hope, and I'm not giving up hope because my son is full of hope. So I'm urging anyone that has any leads, credible leads, if you're too afraid because you know something, a kid just doesn't disappear and no one sees him. That's not how this works. So if you have anything that's credible, if you're afraid, don't worry about it. Imagine my son, how afraid he is. Imagine how afraid Gannon is. So please call, please write. If you need to have someone else to do it for you, please do. Because my son deserves to be here. He deserves to be here. Please call El Paso Sheriff's County and let them know. And I thank you guys, the community, for what you've done, because this is Gannon. This is who he is. And I thank you guys so much.
Do you see, Will, how she's
only 1 pound and 6 ounces?
Do you see how she's acting too? Like, this is like exactly what I talk about, like a concerned parent, like somebody.
I was just going to actually say the same thing. Yes.
Someone who actually gives a shit about, like, you can hear it in her voice.
There's a very obvious right. There's a very obvious contrast between her interview and Letitia's interview. Very obvious, huge contrast between the two. So I absolutely agree with you. Yes, absolutely. I have actually texted with Landon a couple of times, and she's a very, very nice lady. And she was very, very grateful, because all I did, I just sent her kind words. You know, I took a picture of the outside of my job, because still to this day, if I'm working, the lights on the outside that light up the side of the building, the front of the building, all along the front, that I have them set to blue because they're Landon's favorite color, or they're Gannon's favorite. They were Gannon's favorite color, and while he was missing, all of the neighbors had put blue lights outside their homes, so Gannon would know to find his way home. It was a very beautiful gesture from that community, and so I decided to continue to do it until Letitia is convicted and is in prison. So every day that I'm working and I have control over those lights, I turn them on, and you can see it from the highway. And when I explained that to Landon, she was very, 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 she was genuinely touched by it, and she was very, very grateful, and she was very kind. Awesome. So yes, I can't imagine what she's going through. I can't even imagine. Let's hear what Al here has to say. Al is Gannon's dad.
And even today, he's still our miracle child. He still is. And he's such a happy child, and he just brings life to every party. His smile, even today, is keeping us going. His infectious smile brings me joy every time I think about it. The past 8 days have been, as Landon said, a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes we jump in for joy because we get an information that we might think is a break in the case, and then the next minute we get we see something or get information that just breaks our heart into a million pieces again. But through all this, just know that your thoughts and your prayers and your messages keep them coming, because even if we don't respond, we are receiving them, and that has given us strength to get through this. And I do want to say I'm so proud of Lena, my little baby girl here, and of Landon, my children's mother. They've been so strong through this, stronger than I would have ever thought that I could have ever been, and I'm getting strength from them as well. As I said, please keep sending your thoughts and your prayers, because we are receiving them. And if you have any information at all that could help, please reach out to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office with only credible information, but any information that you think may help. Thank you so much.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's hard, man. Seeing that little girl, I mean, that was hard.
It's heartbreaking.
My man, Mr. Nuts in the house. What's up, dude? So let's get back to this timeline. So a couple weeks go by, and then there's a press update on the 16th of February, and authorities provide the latest update on the search for Gannon. They received 555 tips by this time, and he still had not been found. And then March 2nd, Letitia is arrested. Letitia Stauch is arrested and held without bond in Horry County, South Carolina, before she is extradited to Colorado Springs. While his body has still not been found, she has been charged with first-degree murder of a child under 12 by a person in a position of trust, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a deceased human body, and tampering with physical evidence, according to El Paso County Sheriff Bill Elder. And to top things off, this asshole attacked the transport officers while she was being extradited back to Colorado. She put one of them in the hospital. So, I mean, this is something out of a horror movie. This is something out of a psychological thriller. She's like Hannibal Lecter, dude. Like, just without the brains, It's just a complete and total animal, dude. And so on March 11th, she makes her first court appearance in Colorado after being extradited from South Carolina, where she was arrested. Now, on the 20th, Gannon's remains are found. Authorities say they found Gannon Stauch's body in Pace, Florida, near the Escambia River Bridge. Details on what led to the discovery were not released, but the El Paso County Sheriff's Office asked for anyone who had seen Letitia Stauch in Florida from March 3rd to 5th to come forward. The El Paso County District Attorney's Office to file 9 additional charges against his stepmother, including 1 count of first-degree murder after deliberation and 8 counts of committing crime of violence. The remains of an 11-year-old Colorado boy missing since January 27th were found nearly 1,400 miles away from his home Friday, confirming his family's worst fears. Gannon Stauch's body was found near Escambia River Bridge on Interstate 90 near Pace, Florida, by a Florida Department of Transportation construction crew, said Sergeant Rich Alloy of the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. Pace is 15 miles north of Pensacola. So here we are. Gannon's been missing since January 27th. It is now March 20th. Okay, it's 2 months later. It's nearly 2 months later, and his body is found 1,400 miles away from Colorado, on the other end of the country in Florida. So we're talking, but they had already arrested her for murder, which indicates to me, obviously, and to anybody else, I would imagine, that they found evidence that she had murdered him. They just didn't have a body, but they probably had blood. They probably had something, which in the arrest affidavit we will see. And I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can find that. All right. So here's the arrest affidavit. I'm going to go ahead and share that. Give me 1 second. I guess I don't need to share audio on that.
Yeah, another
All right,
pages.
everybody. Yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of thumb through this. This is just a bunch of legal jargon that's taking place here. So here's some information on the Stauch family. So the father is Eugene Al Stauch, stepmother is Letitia Stauch, daughter is Harley Hunt. She is 17 years of age, by blood to Letitia, but not Al. Son is Gannon Stauch, minor, 11 years of age, by blood to Al, not Letitia. Daughter, Lena Stauch, minor, 8 years of age, by blood to Al, not Letitia. Now, there are 4 vehicles that are going to be discussed, which are the red Nissan Frontier, the black Volkswagen Tiguan, and the white Volkswagen Jetta, which is Harley's main vehicle. The red Nissan is it's a pickup truck, and it's Al's main vehicle, Gannon's dad, and the Volkswagen is Letitia's main vehicle. And the silver Nissan Altima is a rental car obtained by Letitia's aunt, Brenda Acquard, and utilized by Letitia from January 30th to February 1st, 2020. After her Tiguan was seized by EPSO, which is the El Paso County Sheriff's Department, January 29th, 2020. There's also a white Kia Rio involved, which is a rental car obtained and utilized by Letitia, and on January 28th through the 29th. So let me just get into I gotta find it. Sorry. All right. Investigators believe that Gannon was murdered by Letitia Stauch on the afternoon hours after approximately 14 hours of January 27th, 2020 at his residence, and more specifically in his bedroom. Physical evidence recovered from the residence and inside Gannon's bedroom supports that a violent event occurred in his bedroom, which caused bloodshed, including blood spatter on the walls and enough blood loss to stain his mattress, soak through the carpet pad, and stain the concrete below his bed. Some photographs of this evidence are included below, which I'm not going to show. There's no need to. But what do you think of that, Mekcee? I mean,
yeah, I read it when I first originally had read that too. Like even when they continue further in it, I know you're about to read the next part of it, but just that shows like the absolute atrociousness of like what happened. If you're able to get enough blood through a mattress, through the carpet, through the pad, and all the way to stain the freaking thing, and it had blood spatters on the wall too. I mean, that shows you. And then as you get into the next details of it, of what else there was too, that because if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for anybody, but that makes it even more atrocious because it wasn't just like one, it was 1, 2, 3. It's like they were talking about the multiple things that were involved. So, but you'll get to that here in a second. But it breaks my heart to think of, because just remember, this is an 11-year-old boy. It's an 11-year-old boy who, kids are going to be kids, but it's an 11-year-old boy that is going through something so disturbingly horrific.
And he had problems, he was somewhat of a special needs kid, so he required patience, and I can relate to that. I really connected with this case because I felt like I could relate to Gannon. Like, I was very much like him when I was 11 years old. I had a lot of the same problems that he had, and this really connected with me. But yeah, I feel nothing but anger because this woman you could just tell. I mean, for that much blood to be lost, she either just kept on doing whatever she was doing to him to make all that blood lose, or she just let him just lay there and bleed through the mattress, through the carpet, onto the concrete of that floor.
And even if it was that, like, to what you're saying, where even if it was the fact that she had done what she done and then just allowed him to lay there in a pool of blood, you still have to remember the fact is that she created enough damage with him being, protruded and stuff, like, in order to be able to lose that amount of blood. And so when you think about it in terms of that, like, even if she let him lay there, even if she continued to do it, like, no matter which way, it's just so disturbing. It's disturbing, like, to think of that stuff. Like, you're like, my God, like, who does that? Like, just someone like pure evil. Like, that's all you can describe it as. It's like pure evil.
Yeah, let me address whatever's going on in chat real quick, guys. Listen, we're not gonna do trash talking of any family members. We're not playing the blame game here. As far as I'm concerned, what's going on is Letitia Stauch has been arrested, and she is solely, if anyone is responsible for his murder, it is the person that has been arrested and being charged with his murder, and who is basically admitting to guilt by trying to say that she's not mentally fit to stand trial. So to me, that's an admission of guilt. Maybe not legally, but to me, that's an admission of guilt. And so, as far as I'm concerned, every other family member in this situation is suffering, and I'm not going to allow you guys to. That's not going to be tolerated in my chat. Trash talking these family members. We don't do that here. So moving on. Based on evidence recovered from the residence, Gannon's remains were eventually brought through the house into the garage and likely loaded into the back of Letitia's Volkswagen Tiguan. After cleaning the murder scene, Letitia utilized the Tiguan to transport and dump Gannon's remains on the evening of January 28, 2020. Letitia likely disposed of his remains off Highway 105, South Perry Park Road in Douglas County, Colorado. Indeed, the Metro Crime Laboratory determined that blood discovered in Gannon's bedroom, that Stauch's garage, and blood on a piece of particle board located off Highway 105, South Perry Park Road, all matched his DNA profile. So they found blood in this spot, So one might be asking, well, how do they know? Why would they believe that his body was dumped there? Well, because they found blood on a piece of particle board in that spot. But remember,
and
body was covered. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what I think about that too, because obviously we know that her brilliant self decided to rent a car, and just make up this crazy excuse as to why she rented the car. With that, if you think about it, I would assume that the rental cars have some kind of tracking mechanism in them. So I would assume that they would be allowed to know what kind of route that she probably took. And I'm guessing that's probably what they're going to eventually bring up and stuff. They kind of tracked her down based on that, what route she took and did different, because I would figure that if they were, able to identify a particle board on the side of a road somewhere, they would have to know what kind of route they took. You know what I mean?
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, from what we're hearing already, they've got an open and shut case. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even need to recover his body to charge her to convict her of murder. I don't believe that. So let's get on the affidavit timeline here. So according to the police, on Monday, January 27th, 2020, Gannon Stauch stayed home from school. Based on text messages from Letitia to Mr. Stauch, Gannon was up most of Sunday evening with stomach problems. with a stomach problem. Letitia did tell Gannon's school, Grand Mountain Elementary, that Gannon would be absent on Monday. Investigators were able to verify that Gannon was marked as an excused absence that day. And Letitia also told Al that they were able to verify that Gannon was, that Al, that I'm just going to give them an excuse at work and stay home with her. Indeed, Letitia did come up with an excuse and told her employer via text message at or about 4:37 Thursday that her stepdad was killed after being hit by a car and she would not be able to come to work that day. Wow. So she told her job to get out of work that her stepdad was killed and hit by a car, which is, I mean, that's not even a believable story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this woman is delusional, thinking that her lies actually make sense. That people are stupid enough to believe these ridiculous stories. Other electronic evidence, such as time and date stamped photographs and videos, were recovered from Letitia's cellular telephone that indicate Gannon was likely still alive during the morning of January 27th, 2020. As displayed in paragraph 54 below, images were taken on Letitia's cell phone at or about 8:13 and 8:17 the morning of January 27th. Gannon sleeping in his bed, which is really bizarre. Why did she take pictures of Gannon sleeping in his bed? That was really weird. She posted them online too. Letitia, I could be wrong about that, but Letitia did tell Gannon's school, Grand Mountain Elementary, that Gannon would be absent on Monday. Investigators were able to verify that Gannon was. Oh, I already read that. I'm sorry about that, guys. My bad. Mr. Stauch has said that hold on real quick. Of particular note, his Nintendo Switch, a small video game console, is visible in the photo lying next to him on the bed. Mr. Stauch had said that this gaming system was of high importance to Gannon. To date, investigators have been unable to locate the Nintendo Switch. It should be noted that Letitia used her phone the following day, January 28th, at or about 12:57 to conduct, which is 12:57 noon, to conduct, or I'm sorry, 12:57 a.m. midnight, to conduct a Google search. Can Nintendo find my Switch? This also details in a list of some of her search history and in paragraphs 141, and reasonably occurred because she was contemplating how she would dispose of the Switch. How do people not realize that when you do Google searches, cops can check it, cops can find it? You know what I'm saying? Like, these Google searches are, and her Google searches are the most bizarre shit in the world, dude. Her Google searches were super weird.
Yeah, and those are like one of the biggest signs too. Like when you see people, they start searching weird stuff. How can they locate the location of what the, you know what I mean? Like they start researching this. Can if I delete my browsing history, can it be? You know, they just start doing like things. It's like, oh my god, these people, like seriously, like it just it's frustrating. Like I just get frustrated thinking about this. Like I'm glad that they're so stupid, because then it allows them to obviously be, you know, caught easily, which is what you want. But it doesn't make sense. Like if you're gonna be that stupid, like God.
Oh, it's a blessing when you've got a really dumb person, you know, that is behind this shit. It's definitely a blessing. Because, you know, like you said, they're easily caught. I'm trying to find, because I know they're in here. I'm trying to find the Google searches that she did, because they were super bizarre, dude.
Yeah, they were.
Because I'm not going to go over this entire affidavit. It's a big long one. So, yeah, man, where is that, dude? because it was a really weird. Where is that shit, dude? I can't find it at all. All right. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. We're gonna talk about. Oh, I lost Mekcee again. So we're gonna discuss Aguardo, the ever elusive Aguardo. All right. So Letitia said that Letitia said that she arrived home at about 14:30 military time on January 27th, which is 2:30 in the afternoon, and she disarmed her security system and then went into the basement. She said that Eduardo was in the basement, attacked her, and pointed a gun at her. She said that after Eduardo held her at gunpoint, he allowed her to go upstairs to greet her stepdaughter, Lena Stauch, who had just arrived home from school. Letitia said that she sent her outside to ride her bike, then returned to the basement where Eduardo vaginally penetrated her against her will between 3:30 and 4:30. During this period, she believed that she had hit her head and may have blacked out. Investigators noted no injuries on Letitia's head during their contact with her. Letitia also said that during the attack, Gannon jumped on Eduardo's back and that Eduardo was able to throw Gannon off of his back and across the room. After Eduardo had finished, he had the gun held to Gannon and demanded a suitcase. Letitia provided him with a brown suitcase and a cardboard box. Eduardo attempted to sexually assault her again, but she hit her head and blacked out again. That's a real believable story. Let's see. Still no Mekcee. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to be wrapping this up pretty soon, guys. But yeah. So I'm going to go over. So we basically, I just wanted you to know. I mean, the evidence against her is pretty overwhelming. And this is pretty much a summary of all this stuff here. So at 2:14 p.m. on the 27th, she texts Nicole, who may or may not be the homeowner. She says, Letitia says, when we came back inside from the smoke, there was blood on both of us. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. I would get unknown word out about it, and I don't know if he should go to the doctor. I keep trying to add the candle thing, but Albert kept saying that it was small and minor. I was scared the basement was smoky. When I threw the cover, everything, we both had blood. You don't understand how it is to be a stepmom, she says. Poor Letitia. This woman's unbelievable, man. So on Wednesday, February 12th, the investigators start focusing their efforts in Douglas County. On the 13th, investigators start monitoring phone calls between Letitia and Al. They claim they claim her story continuously changed. Letitia states Gannon was burned with a candle to the point his skin bubbled. Gannon peeled the burns off and wiped blood on his bedroom wall. Wow. Al did not ask about the blood on the wall before Letitia made that comment. When EPSO came to the house on the 27th, the abductor was still in the house, and she tried to tell deputies that somebody was there. Deputies checked the entirety of the house, and no additional person was located. She was raped by Quincy Brown at her home, and Brown abducted Gannon. She knew Brown's identity because she saw the paper with his ID. It fell out of his pocket. Letitia sent a photo of Quincy Brown to Al via text. Quincy followed her from the Petco. At some point, was laying in the middle of the road in front of her. When she stopped, not to run him over, he jumped in the car and made her take him home, where he raped her. Letitia and Gannon were near County Line Road and Highway 105 in northeast El Paso County on the 27th. Gannon was riding a bicycle in that area, fell, hit his head, and then was abducted by Quincy Brown. And Quincy Brown was driven by a man named Terrence. Like, where is she coming up with this? Letitia tells investigators searches in that area would be futile. Police believe that Stauch has also fabricated this story after seeing Brown's picture in a lineup of Pikes Peak most wanted fugitives. So on Saturday, February 15th, investigators located a piece of particle board during their search. It had a stain that appeared to be blood. Blood profile matched Gannon. Gannon's blood found near Highway 105 Perry Park Road. Investigators think Letitia used the particle board during the disposal of Gannon's remains. Now, this is really funny because Letitia tells them, looking out there would be pointless. It's an absolute futile effort. Don't even bother. And sure enough, they find a piece of particle board in that spot with Gannon's blood on it. So Letitia tells investigators she told Al Gannon fell off his bike because she thought that that's what he wanted to hear. Letitia told Al over the phone the blood in the corner of Gannon's room was a combo of hers and Gannon. She said the abductor raped both her and Gannon and was present when EPSO came to the house that night. Now, on Sunday, February 16th, Letitia told a female, Tila Cummings, that she has given Al false stories because she knows he won't believe anything she says. On Monday, February 17th, it's 1:53 p.m. and Letitia told female Laura Abernathy that she was thinking about flying out to Colorado to take a lie detector test to prove her innocence. She said, they think that I'm still in Colorado. Before 11 p.m., Letitia told an unknown female that she is going to take a lie detector test, but the test would be admissible in court and no law enforcement would present. Now, Letitia called a phone number, which I have here, 321-247-6876, a number associated with fakeapolygraph.com. Letitia tells the caller, Letitia tells the caller she never received confirmation for tests she paid for. Unknown male said he'd sent her an email. Letitia calls the phone number again and inquires about email. Now, the male says her report was blocked by management because of the questions she wanted on the test. He said any test with illegal activities, the company has the right not to send it. Letitia says, What do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep the money? And the dude says, yes, we do indeed. Letitia's like, okay, gotcha. Thank you. Goodbye. The detectives reached the male with their website and asked the questions she was trying to get answers for. On Friday, February 28th, Judge Raffalo signs a warrant for her arrest. Monday, March 2nd, Letitia Stauch is arrested in South Carolina. Friday, March 20th, Gannon Stauch's remains are found near Pace, Florida. Now, this woman has done everything that she can to, I mean, it's insane to me what she's been doing. Like, she attacked the deputies being extradited from South Carolina to Colorado to stand trial, right? Now, oh, so I see Mekcee's in the chat. What's going on with Mekcee? All right. Yeah, I guess his technical difficulties are a little too much. It is what it is. Like I said, it happens to the best of us. Mekcee, thank you for joining me. I appreciate that. But we're going to keep going real quick. And so while she attacks these deputies, and then she gets caught trying to hatch a plan to escape from jail. I mean, she's all over the place, you know? I mean, somebody's going to make a movie about this lady. Once she's convicted, yeah. The clicking was you're right, Mekcee. Yeah, some major movie studio is going to pick this story up and make a movie about this woman and her crazy antics, because it sounds like a movie already. You know, I cannot wait. I cannot wait till she is found guilty of these crimes and she gets locked up. This is going to be the fastest trial ever once it gets started. She's just killing time to avoid getting to this. Guys, make sure tomorrow, if you're not subscribed to Mekcee, please subscribe to Mekcee. So make sure that tomorrow, I promise you, he's going to have his technical difficulties worked out, and you're not going to hear that clicking sound when he's live. I promise you that. We're hopefully anyway, but we are. I'm going to be on panel with him. And we wanted to bring you up to date and up to speed on the cliff notes, basically, of the Gannon Stauch case. And tomorrow, with these things in mind, Mekcee is going to be exploring the supernatural part of all these things. And you know, hopefully we'll get some prayers together, and we can hopefully try to do our part to make sure that Gannon is resting in peace. But we all know, unfortunately, that's probably unlikely until this woman is brought to justice, because he was killed in a very, very brutal and violent manner by this hateful, horrible woman. So this is you trash live right now? Oh yeah, a couple of rumors, certain rumors being shut down now, isn't it? Because how can I be live here and be live there? So yeah. But yeah, I'm not you trash guys. Anyway, so guys, tomorrow Mekcee is going to I'm and it's interesting because I'm somewhat skeptical about this stuff, but the thing is I've gotten to know Mekcee. I consider him a friend, and I feel that he believes solely in these things, and he's coming from a positive, good place, and so hopefully there can be we can somehow contribute to this beautiful soul resting in peace. So yeah. So make sure to subscribe to Mekcee. Make sure to watch tomorrow. And I can't remember exactly what time he set for it. Normally I'd be at work, and I was actually going to ask for, I was going to take my break during that time. But the thing is I'm waiting for COVID results. I went and got a COVID test today, and I'm waiting for the results for that. And while I'm waiting for the results, I can't go to work. So yeah, Mekcee, I agree with you, buddy. Yeah. But for all of you who sent PayPal donations, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Those are always a big help. And I love you guys very much. But yeah, I'm not. I did the COVID test today. It wasn't pleasant, but it wasn't what everybody makes it out to be. And I just got to wait 48 to 72 hours for results. But I'm already feeling better. I just still have like cold symptoms, and it's just flu season anyway. Did I call you truthy? No fucking way. Did I really do that? I guess I'm still so used to paneling with that fucking douchebag that I paneled with that guy a lot, man. I paneled with that guy a lot. Yeah. So that's funny. I feel a little silly. I apologize, Mekcee. I apologize to you guys. Yeah. There's no magooing allowed in here, bro. Okay. Yeah, I don't even know when that happened. Interesting. Yeah, my only explanation for that has to be that I was so used to paneling with him. But all my new subs, I appreciate you. Check out, if you guys like comic book talk or you're following the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff, make sure to subscribe to subscribe to that Umbrella guy, because he's covering that stuff and he's a cool dude. But you know, if you're following that stuff, you're probably already subscribed to him. But subscribe to General Zod's Fandom Zone. I'm really enjoying his channel. He seems like a really cool dude. And Rob's Rules. You know, they're just really nice guys. Rob's Rules, that guy's so nice. He's got such a pleasant disposition. So when I'm in his chat, it's always a really, really nice little vibe. So I enjoy contributing to his chat. Even though I troll a little bit, I like to have fun trolling with people, but it's harmless trolling, you know. But guys, I love you guys very, very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends.